Hi friends, Kathy Toll here with Petals and Paint Designs, and today I just want to show you a very quick and easy tutorial on a centerpiece idea, or this really could just go in a living room, a bedroom. You can once again just design it completely to your colors, to your liking. This design I came up with for my daughter's wedding. We wanted some type of centerpiece. We actually put these on all of the tables these were all the flowers that I had put in the brides and the bridal parties bouquets. And then we had table numbers that we put behind each arrangement. But I put a candle behind it and I keep it out. I take it out in the spring and the summer. It's a great keepsake. I love it. I mean, even if you wanted to give them away to some of your wedding guests, you know, one person at a table takes these. That's what we ended up doing at her wedding. But it is really quick, it's easy, and I just wanted to have an opportunity to share this project, fun project with you. Okay, so some of the things you're going to need to get started on this project. You're going to want some dry foam. You can pick that up at the dollar store. And you're also going to want to get some books if you don't have any. Goodwill has been phenomenal. Look at how pretty. Even the binding has, writing on it. This is beautiful. So what I would probably do is choose to have this be my top book if it's got a really pretty decorative front. But I mean, look at this one with the butterflies. And then there's this with the green. This is Reader's Digest. And Goodwill seems to have a lot of these, so you could try to color coordinate. I've even done themes before where I found books that have to do with birds, and then I've put a bird's nest on this, made an arrangement with some birds and, you know, just real springy moss and things like that. So you're also going to need the type of greenery, whether that would be ivy or some leaves. This is a fantastic project, a great way to use up some of those stems that you have lying around that you bought and put into other projects. So let me clean up my bench and then we will go ahead and get started. One thing I do want to make sure to mention about the books, you want to make sure that they're not exactly the same size, the two that you're going to use, because you want to be able, we're going to glue these together, so you want to be able to stagger them so that you'll have room for your arrangement. Now the process and what I usually do is I would glue, and it depends, it's all up to you what you want to do, but I would glue several of these pages together so that they would stay, and I would do the same on this bottom book. And then I would go ahead and I would put some glue on this surface, and I would just apply some weight and let it dry overnight. And then the next thing we want to do is we want to take a piece of dry foam and we're going to cut just a small piece of dry foam, like even this size piece here would be fine, to glue right here. Okay, we're going to glue it right here in front. Now, this is just another thought looking at this. For me, I would probably turn this around and glue the book side so that from the back I'm able to see that really cool binding with all the writing. But again, just personal preference. So you don't need much dry foam at all, and you just want to glue the dry foam onto the book and let that dry. And then from here, all you would do is start to build your arrangement. Now I've already got one semi-done that I want to use to show you just how you can change things up a little bit. Just because succulents are so popular right now, what I did is I took two books and I actually spray painted them black and I glued them together, and then I have glued a doily on top. And what I'm going to do is take my dry foam and put my dry foam right here, glue it, and then I'm going to make a cascading arrangement that's going to come down over the two books. So let me just apply some glue and we'll get started. again, you know, we're always trying to show you tutorials that you really have a wide variety of things that you could do. You could totally change this up. You could tie it with ribbon if you want. I've done that before. You just want to make sure that it's good and dry before you go ahead and start sticking in the greens. So because I'm doing succulents, I want to keep it a little bit more of an earthy feel. I've got some Real Touch ivy that I'm going to put in that I kind of want to cascade down, like I said, down over the book. And then I have some Real Touch fern that I'm going to use. I also have some of these greens that they have a rougher texture to them than the other. And this is what I'm planning on for some of my succulents. I have, and now these were just picks that I picked up at Joann's. I've got this one. And then I have some really neat berries. Where did I put those? They have like a purpley tone to them. So I'm thinking of using a succulent that has burgundy shades to it as well. And then this one, if you see this is real earthy looking. Just really like the way that that looks against the black book. I think it's gonna look dynamite. So the first thing we want to start with, since we have our dry foam glued on, is putting on some Spanish moss. And this does tend to make a mess. And you know, there's several different colors of Spanish moss. There's this gray tone, and then there's also some green shades. So maybe for you, you'd rather use a green shade on this. I just want it to be a contrast, so that's why I am purposely choosing this gray, because I'm going to have a lot of green going on with the succulents. And my whole goal here is just to really just cover up the base of the dry foam. And it's okay if some of your pins show, because we're going to be filling this right up with florals, so don't worry about that. And if you don't have the pins, you could use glue. You could glue it in place as well. Just be careful that you don't burn yourself. Make sure you use one of the floral sticks like I'm always talking about. So that's a good covering to get us started. And if you wanted to at this point, so you don't want anything to get on your book covers, you could actually lay down something to just protect them, but I'm not really worried about them at this point. Put those to the side. Now see, I can see a little bit of green still, but I'm not worried about it, because by the time I get the florals in, it's going to be taken care of. The way I've positioned my book and the way I'm going to do the greens is so that whether I have it this way or I have it this way, I'm still going to have interest. I could even put this in the center of a table, on a coffee table. You want to keep that in mind when you're working. You know, especially if this is for someone else, you're not quite sure where they might keep it, you want to keep that in mind. And I've got my hot glue here in my glue pan, and I'm going to go ahead and stick it in. And like I said, this is a great project to use up. Don't throw, they call these angel wings, don't throw these away, because we're going to end up using these. Bring my pick machine over here. These stems are a little bit weaker, so I need the extra oomph of the pick machine to get it in. This would be really cute for a birthday party. You could even print out book covers for the theme of the birthday party and use that. That would be adorable. Anniversary. Like I said, you could just go crazy. Do this seasonally. That would be a lot of fun. And I'm going to do one more up there on that end. I like the way that actually is bent up, so I'm going to use that. I'm always striving for something different. I don't like the typical same thing. I want my work to be different, to really stand out. Then I have some of this Real Touch greenery that I'm actually going to go ahead and put in. Now to figure out how long I want it, I'm actually just going to kind of fold it down. I like how that is positioned there, so I'm just going to snip it a little bit. This is actually a little bit more durable, so I don't need to use a stemming machine for that one. Sometimes it helps if you use pliers to push it in. Now if you notice, I've kind of determined what my height is going to be on this particular piece. You just want to try to remember to make it interesting on all the sides. And I'm going to start with some of these greens that I really like. They have these little berries on them. And again, I want to make sure that they're not getting too high. I love them just because they look so natural. Now with this project in mind, you can start looking for books. Once we're able to get out and start shopping again. Okay, so I'm going to stop there as far as greenery goes. I'm happy with that. I'm going to bring my stemming machine over here out of the way a little bit. I think I'll move this out of the way too. I don't want you to have to have that in your way. I think that's a little bit better. Now I'm going to start with some of my florals. And like I said, I get this at Joann's, and it has the berries, the purple berries, that I just think are so pretty. Now, I haven't decided if I want to put the whole stalk in here, so I'm just going to kind of lay it in. Oh, I really like that. I think I'm going to put that whole stalk in right there. So I'm going to clip this a little bit. A little bit more because I think I'll put a pick on it. What you want to do is start with your larger items that you want to put in. Again, like I mentioned in my last video, making sure that everything is proportionate size-wise so that it looks balanced, the piece looks balanced. So I'm just weaving this in through here. Again, this is all bendable, which I love. That's what you want. Oh, that's so pretty already. Got some of this that I really like because it's got a different texture to it. So I'm going to give some of this. This is such a quick project, like all of the others that I've shared with you too. Your kids could do this. Your kids could come up with some ideas. Now that's too long. I like it there. So I'm going to snip it down a little bit. And again, if you remember, I know I don't mean to repeat myself, but you want to always try to put several different shades of green in your project. It just adds so much life to whatever you're creating. Now I'm going to do exactly the same as I did before. Fill in over here. Put two in the middle and the back. Now I do have a Lazy Susan. I could have this up on the Lazy Susan and just be turning it, but for the sake of the camera, it's just easier if I keep it stationary for you guys. Think that, see, now to me that looks too big in here, so I'm going to go for a succulent that's a little bit smaller. I did want to try to use this grass just because I love it. I also have something that, see how these are lighter? This is a lot lighter than this one. You see the difference? See how if I put this in here, it has a tendency to pop more than this one. So I think I'm going to go with this lighter one right here. Now again, you know how I'm always mentioning repurposing. If you didn't glue these in, this is another project that you could just pull all these pieces out and reuse them again, which would be great. Take shape. Now I want to try to get some, I have some smaller succulents here. I have this one that I really like. It's a gray color. Okay, so for this one here, the end, I cannot get through. It's got a piece broken off. So I'm just going to use a greenery pick here with some wire. And I'm going to wire it right on and then glue it, because this is just going to, no one's going to see this. This is going to be covered up. And you could go ahead and when you're done with this, you could wrap it in the florist tape if you wanted to do that as well. I'm going to cut this a little bit because of course I don't want it that long. I'm going to cut it to about that long. Put a little glue, actually up and down the whole stem, but put a little glue on that wire. And I think I'm going to put that one right over in here in the front. Hopefully the camera's picking that up. And you notice how I'm going for different tones and different shades. Now I have these off-white, and my hope is to pick up the doily with these off-white flowers. So what you want to decide is, do you want to keep it whole, the whole stem in together, or do you want to separate it out? Sometimes in a piece like this, it looks best to have clusters of color. So I am going to keep that a cluster, just like that on the top. See what I have for some more succulents. I have these small ones that I want to put in, and I want to keep that on the long side. So I'm going to snip that in a little bit. Put that actually right in here. Hoping that you can see that. I'm going to turn the books around because the back side is pretty well bare. Got a couple more of these because I want to try to do in the back whatever I did in the front. It doesn't have to be exact unless that's your style. That's not my style. Sometimes it has to be in order to make it look balanced, but in a piece like this, that's not the case. Now you could paint the books, of course, any color that you wanted to go with the decor in your home. You could write across here if you wanted to do your kids' room. That would be adorable. You could put a few toys, glue a few toys or mementos at the top. That would be very cute. One more of these, I have to decide where I want it. I'm thinking maybe up there. And again, remember we put the larger flowers in first after the greens, and now we're getting smaller. Let's see what else I have here. I'd love to be able to put this in. I just don't know if I have enough of it. I don't know if you can, I just have a tiny little piece of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to snip off the bottom 2 pieces and put it in my pick machine and try to get a pick on it so that I can insert it right in here. Right there. Perfect. I have some more of this lighter colored berries, this as well. Maybe I'll put that in there. No, that's not enough of a contrast. That's pretty because it mimics those this purple. It's like a reverse. This has the most purple and then a little bit of green, and this is mostly green with a little bit of purple. So I definitely want to put this in here because this is just going to pop the way that it is. And I'm wondering if I can keep that branch in there. Let's see. Yep, I definitely like that. Can you pick that up? Again, this is fantastic for pieces that you have left over, which is what a lot of this is for me. I just want to put, I've got some there. I feel like I want to put some here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Let's see what this looks like. See if I like that. No, I don't want that there. Maybe I just want a big, larger one here. Put this over here on the side. That's what I'm going to do. And again, you can make this as large or as small as you want. It's just personal preference once again. coming along. We just have a couple more spots that we need to fill in, and over here we got a couple spots. Now, I could put a succulent here, but I've got one here, so I don't want to. This is where I was thinking about maybe putting, yep. Look at how nice that looks right there. Very happy. Whoops. Very happy with that. So I'm going to fill that in. Some more of that white berry. You could totally do flowers on this as well if you wanted to. This would be really cute at Halloween if you did a black book. You could put bittersweet, another fall, some leaves. It's overpowering. It's just too much. I'm trying to find something that is a little different. I would have loved to have put this in here. Let's see what that would look like. Almost too much. Let's see about down on the side maybe. Too. That looks pretty. Keep that one there. Now I need one more for right in here. We are just about done. This was ivy that I could put in, but I'm not really loving that. Maybe I'll put some more of these small ones in because I have them there. That would blend nicely. Let's just see what that looks like in there. I'm going to put it this way. Taller ones at the top. This right in there. Now there's a few spots that I want to fill in. Still. Mention using this ivy, but I think I changed my mind. I'm really liking the way that it looks. I think it's very pretty and it's very different. Super easy to make. You can totally do this. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. Give it a try. It's super easy and lots of fun, and like I said, the combination of things that you could do when you just stop and think about it, you know, from a wedding centerpiece like this other one. I'll show you one more time. Something, you know, it's loaded with all different kinds of beautiful flowers, and this particular book has a really cool vintage cover. You could do something like this, or you could do something like I showed you how to do today with succulents. Completely different. Painted book. Your creativity could go wild. Thanks so much for watching today. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and hit the subscribe button along with the bell so that you don't miss any more fun tutorials like this. We hope you take care, stay well, and join us again so that we can get creative together.